So I did my Disney coaster rankings. Now it is time for my Universal coaster rankings. There are 17 notable coasters out of the Universal Studio Parks. Of course, you have the one in Florida, Universal Studios Florida. You have Islands of Adventure there as well. Then you got Universal Studios Hollywood. Then we got Singapore. And then we have Japan. And also, we have one more coaster out of Volcano Bay. So let's kick this list off. At number 17, we have Elmore Skateboard. It's kind of like a half-pipe coaster out of Japan. Kiddie coaster. So at the bottom of this list, then we have Enchanted Airways at Universal Singapore. It's just a kiddie coaster. It's nothing special. Just normal kiddie coaster. And next on this list, we have Woody Woodpecker. It's at Universal Studios Florida. Just another kiddie coaster. Once again, nothing special. Then we move to Puss in Boots coaster at Universal Singapore. This is a family coaster. Didn't really see much about it that really impressed me though, but family coasters are usually a little bit better than kid coaster. Then we have Snoopy's coaster in Japan. It's just another family coaster. It's nothing really to get excited about. But next on this list, we have the Flyers. I'm talking about the ones that are in Jurassic Park and Japan and Islands of Adventure. They are suspended coasters, and they take you on a nice little joyride throughout the parks. So that's why it ends up on number 12. Then at number 11, then we have Flight of the Hippogriff, which that both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Hollywood in Japan. And it's one of those more kiddie family coasters, and it's a pretty fun ride, if I do say so myself. And cracking my top 10, we have Krakatoa at Volcano Bay. I have included it. It's a water coaster, so technically it is a coaster, and I gotta say, this is a pretty fun ride. Next, at number 9, is Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Yes, I did think about putting Krakatoa above Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, of course, it's at Universal Studios. It's an X coaster built by Maurer, which is more known for its spinning coasters, and probably should stick to those because this was not the greatest ride experience. Just a lot of brake runs, just a lot of like dull moments, and it's kind of a rough ride. But since it's just an actual coaster, I put it over Krakatoa. And then at number 8, we have Escape from Gringotts, which actually does count as a coaster. It's at Universal Studios. It's a Intamin coaster, even though it does include more screen shows. It's a fun ride, and it's just the elements it has like a coaster, I think just makes it better than Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Then at number 7, we have Revenge of the Mummy, which is at Universal Studios Florida, Orlando, and Singapore. And Revenge of the Mummy is just a fun ride. Great experience, and it's a great beginner for your 8-year-old if you're just trying to get more used to the big boy coasters. This is a ride I recommend taking them on, even though it does have it might scare them a little. Then at number 6, we have Hollywood Dream in Japan. It's a B&M, and it's kind of like Rip Ride Rocket, but it's like the coaster did right. It doesn't have so it has like the song options that Rip Ride Rocket does, but it's actually like the ride layout actually make it smooth, and it makes it more of a fun, enjoyable ride, at least from what I've heard. And the sad part is it doesn't have as many options, of course. Then starting out with our top 5, we have Battlestar Galactica and Universal Studios Singapore. This is my top. If I'm going to Singapore, this is what I'm going for. This is a Vekoma dueling coaster with one side inverted and the other one traditional seating. It's the tallest dueling coaster in the world. And my gosh, does this coaster look fun or what? Honestly, it just looks amazing. Then at number 4, we have the Incredible Hulk coaster at Islands of Adventure. It's a B&M launch coaster. Of course, everybody knows this ride got remanufactured sometime during the 2010s. I can't pinpoint the year right now, but this ride's just a fun ride in general. It's one you got always hit if you go to Islands of Adventure, if you're a coaster fan or just a Marvel fan. It's just a fun ride. Go on it if you haven't yet. Then at number 3, we have the 2021 coaster on here. and it's the Velocicoaster, at least the one that we think is coming to Islands of Adventure. It's an intimate launch model, and honestly, it might be number 1 and number 2 once it comes out, but we don't really know. Haven't really seen people ride it. Haven't really seen much film from it, but it looks absolutely amazing. It looks stunning. It looks like Hagrid grown-up version, so it's gonna be fun to see how this ride turns out. Then at number 2, we have Flying Dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan. It's a B&M flyer, the best flyer in the world, probably, no doubt. Everybody will agree with that. And Flying Dinosaur just looks like it's going to be a fun ride. I've heard good things about it. Coast Coaster Studios talks about it just being the best flying coaster and one of the highlights of the Japan trip. And I hope I get to go out to Japan one day and ride it myself. Then at number 1, we have Hagrid's Motorbike Creature. It's the Hagrid coaster. We aren't pronouncing that whole thing. It's at Islands of Adventure. It's the intimate launch coaster that looks absolutely amazing. This is like Harry Potter done to a Q. Like, it's a Potterhead's dream coaster right here. And for a Potterhead myself, that's why it takes the top spot. No doubt about it. So, those are my Universal Coaster rankings. If you guys agree or disagree with my list, let's have a nice friendly argument down below with each other's lists, of course. Then, of course, if you have a suggestion for another video, make sure to write that down in the comments below as well. And who knows, your suggestion may just end up being the next video. Of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to click those links down there if you have Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and Patreon. And of course, just make sure to leave me through every day, just like it's your last.